Spartan Transportation and Spartan Logistic Management is your one source for all your shipping needs. 53-foot dry van shipments, auto transport shipments, full-service in-house brokerage, drop-lot facilities, just-in-time deliveries to all auto manufacturers, facilities in St. Louis, Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, and Indianapolis, Indiana. Spartan Logistics, LLC, proud sponsor of the IROC Series, Kyle Steffens UMP Modified and Silver Crown Driver, and Gordy Gundaker, World of Outlaws Late Model. Visit us at spartan-logistics.net or find us on Facebook.
Need insurance coverage that's built for speed? Frank Yea's office in South Charleston has your back. Whether you're blazing down the highway, protecting the home you've built, or setting up a legacy for your family, we've got the coverage you need. Auto, home, life, fast, simple, and made for you. Scan the QR code on your screen now to explore all our services and start a free quote today. Lock it in, save it for later, or call us at 304-744-7700 to get started.
Auto Club Speedway, once the premier motorsports facility in Southern California, built on the site of a former Kaiser steel mill near Fontana in 1996 to 97 at a cost of $100 million. The track has 84,000 permanent seats and is home to a NASCAR Cup and O'Reilly Auto Parts Series race each spring, or at least it used to. Constructed by the Penske Corporation as a clone of Michigan Speedway, the track was originally known as California Speedway. It was later purchased by ISC, which subsequently sold its naming rights to the Automobile Club of Southern California in 2008. In addition to a high-banked oval, Auto Club Speedway features several road course configurations, which have been used for sports cars and motorcycle races, as well as an infield track used for testing purposes. Given its proximity to Hollywood, the track has also appeared in scores of movies, television shows, and commercials. Not much remains of Auto Club Speedway, but it lives on in the sim world. And tonight, it's the IROC Challenge Series Auto Club 150. And it's next on Track Limits Network. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Virtual Auto Club Speedway, the Auto Club 150 Season 10 of the IROC Challenge Series. Let's take a look at tonight's race details as we are getting deep into the first round of the playoffs. 78-degree ambient temperatures, 45% humidity, partly cloudy skies, a 2-mile-per-hour breeze. Track temperature nice and cool, 78 degrees Fahrenheit. Race distance tonight, 150 miles at 75 laps. Stage at lap 35, 75% fuel on board, 3 sets of tires over the wall. No fast repairs, count them, 0 zip, zilch, and 3 attempts at a green-white checkered finish. Fast times in the warm-up as practice and qualifying already in the books. It's the 51 right now of Chris Wally topping the charts. Lilith Peters, Brandon Mefford, William Tyndall, and Chris Mefford rounding out the current top 5. About 3 minutes remain in this session. We'll take a quick look here at the point standings coming into tonight. TJ Majors on top of the charts here. Aaron Smith, second. Brian McCann, Christian Strader, and Steve Durbin, your top 5. Then it's Brent Butler, Casey Bentz, Will Tyndall, Lilith Peters in 9th, right there on the edge. Garrett Johnston, 10th. Neil Quick, 11th. Adam Pettit, 12th. Brandon Mefford, 13th. Jason Nilgis, Evan Janik, and Jim Pileski to round it out. This is after 2 races of 4 in the first round of the playoffs. Top 8 in the point standings at the end of round 1 will move on into the championship round. I want to make note about Lilith Peters being right there just on the outside looking in. She's been fast all season long and through one reason or another has yet to pick up a race win. All of that said, that's the same story for Brian McCann. He is yet to win a race this season, if you'll even believe that. See if that'll change here tonight. Peters, though, if she just managed to maintain position and maybe bring home at least a solid finish instead of really pushing for that race win, maybe she'd be above that cut line right now as we roll into this championship round here in a couple of races after one more after tonight. We'll see if she really pushes the envelope this evening, though. I know that win would mean a lot. Win would certainly get her to move on. Another cameo appearance for a junior motorsports driver here tonight. It's Carson Quapple. He'll be in the 5 machine. He's 9th on the leaderboard. 39.62. Aaron Smith in the yellow, number 70. He's got the most wins on the season thus far at 5. That said, TJ Majors with his 3 wins still sits atop the leaderboard in points. Just about a couple seconds away here from the black and red flags to drop on this warm-up session, and we'll finish up and get right into our starting grid thereafter. Chris Wally, top of the charts here to finish this warm-up session. Very impressive lap time out of the 51. So warm-up in the books. We're not going to waste any time, folks. We're going to get right into it. Our starting grid for the Auto Club 150 on the pole position with a lap time of 39.516 seconds. It's the 3 of Brian McCann, flanked by the 83 Charity Motorsports driver of Brandon Mefford. Just missed it by about 17 thousandths of a second. Row number 2, it'll be the 2 of Neil Quick and the 6 of TJ Majors. Row 3, it's Peter Ruzick and Kevin McCann back in action this week. Steve Durbin in row 4 with Casey Bentz to the outside. Row number 5 will be Lilith Peters and Jason Nilges. Starting in the 11th position, that goes to Evan Janik. Christian Strader will start 12th. Will Tyndall rolls off 13th. Garrett Johnston in the 14th position. Kyle Hardy starts 15th. Carson Quapple rolls off 16th. 17th starter will be Zachary Kleek. Gavin Hinson, 18th. 19th will be Adam Pettit. Chris Wally, again fast in the warm-up, shown 20th to start tonight's race. Chris Mefford, 21st. Kyle White will start 22nd. 23rd start is Kyle Pendergraph. 24th goes to Newt Quick. Doug Wysocki, 25th. Todd Kleek, 26th, and shotgun on the field in the number 70, it's Aaron Smith. Your starting grid here from Auto Club Speedway. We're going to get rocking and rolling here momentarily. Field getting gridded up, maybe starting to roll away. Indeed, they are. One more quick look, race details before we get underway here. 75 laps the race distance, 150 miles. Staged at lap 35, there will be no caution for that stage. 75% fuel on board, 3 sets of tires over the wall, no fast repairs, and 3 attempts at a green-white checkered finish. 78 degrees in the air, 45% humidity, partly cloudy skies. Doesn't matter too much with us being under the lights here tonight. 2-mile-per-hour breeze, and track temp still hanging on to 78 degrees Fahrenheit. Field out of turn number 4. Pace car going to make the left turn down into pit lane. Barney with the green in hand, and we are ready to go racing from Auto Club Speedway. There it is, green flag in the air, and we are underway. Oh, trouble on the start. Someone spinning down to the infield grass. I think it might be Chris Mefford. Indeed, it is. Mefford getting turned, coming to green. Not a good way to start this one off. Meanwhile, off turn number 2, Brian McCann out to the early lead. Battle is on for the second, third, fourth positions. There were 3 wide off turn number 2. Neil Quick had to check up considerably to give room to TJ Majors and Brandon Mefford. Mefford and Majors side by side into turn number 3. Majors drives it real deep down into turn 3. Tries to get past the 83 of Mefford. Unable to do so. Brandon back on the throttle off turn number 4. He'll power around. Not quite clear yet. Inches. TJ's going to stick it there in the middle. Now he's going to hang there behind the 83 as Kevin McCann now rocks up the inside on TJ Majors into turns 1 and 2. He's going to do the same here with Brandon Mefford, it appears. Well, that was a scary moment. Thought we lost the whole feed, but nope, we're still good. Coming back to the stripe, lap 3 will go up on the board, and so one car in the fence might have been Garrett Johnston or Christian Strader. No, not sure exactly who it was. Not a hard impact, but they scraped the outside wall, and there's more of the same headed into turn number 1. Trying to utilize every square inch of this wide racetrack. You'd think it'd be big enough they wouldn't need to go all the way up to the fence, but they're getting greedy out there. McCann with a car length and a half over Brandon Mefford in the second spot. Majors third. Battle is on for the 4th position. Lilith Peters, Casey Bentz side by side. Majors will cross over the nose of the 1 at the line. Bentz will have the 4th spot for the time being. We'll see if Peters can take it away. Peters quickly up alongside TJ Majors. Casey Bentz is going to pull the run down the back straightaway, though. You can see how advantageous the outside lane can be. Kevin McCann's going to take full advantage as well. Carry that momentum down into turn 3. Almost too much. Has to lift and check up there to avoid contact with Casey Bentz. Peters now running in the 5th spot. back to the race lead. Brian McCann hanging on to it for now, still looking for that elusive first win of the season. Brandon Mefford, though, breathing down his neck, has closed in on the 3, has cut that car length and a half down to half a car length, maybe even less. Takes a peek to the inside down the back straightaway. We'll go on board with the 3 of Brian McCann. Mefford pulls out to pass, almost some contact between himself and the 3. Mefford keeps it pinned on the bottom of the racetrack. Will McCann have the run out of the corner? Scrapes the wall a bit. That's going to scrub some speed. They're side by side coming to the line with McCann out in front by just a nose. At the stripe, McCann led it. Meanwhile, this battle's allowed everybody else to close back into these top 2. TJ Majors there in 3rd. Bence Nile just the top 5. Majors thinking about going up the middle here. He's got the run, has room, thinks better of it. Smart driving by the driver of the number 6. Now Mefford and Majors side by side. Majors in the black and gray number 6, top of the racetrack. McCann swapping lanes to not provide the draft to Majors. DJ follows him down the racetrack and now back up. Didn't expect to see the serpentine line as Bence gets tagged and comes down, hits the 7, and we got a wreck into turn number 1.
Did you hear any static, like somebody was keying up on your radio just a few minutes ago? 10-4.
Jason Nile, just one of many involved. Looks like he's got the worst of it. Nose missing off of that race car, and it's not tracking straight at all. Initially, my view, it appeared that Casey Bence may have gotten into the back of, I think it was Brandon Mefford, or vice versa. Let's see if we can find it here. It's already underway. We'll back it up a little further, and we'll get a little closer. So the 83 of Brandon Mefford, the black and red, and then Casey Bence, the 27, just ahead. I think Brandon expected Casey to chase the 6 down the racetrack. That's just not how it went down. Casey almost had this thing saved, but unfortunately, Evan Janik, bottom of the track, he bounces off of him up into the racetrack, gets into the Nilogist machine. He hits hard in the outside. Kevin McCann's going to get a big piece of this. He's got some left front damage as well. It's a pretty scary one early on here at Auto Club Speedway, though. It did not collect near as many race cars as I thought we were going to wad up in that one, with that starting off at the front of the field. So some drivers coming down pit lane here. Evan Janik's going to play it safe here and come down and pit. I don't think he got hit too terribly hard, but better safe than sorry. 75 laps the distance here tonight, so you might as well come down and take the opportunity to fix it under caution while you've got that opportunity. Hard to tell specifics here. There's a little bit of right side damage, but I think he's got that right side straightened back out. I think Janik will be just fine. Back out front, Brian McCann still in the top spot from pole position. been a battle between the 3 and the 6 much of this season. As we spoke earlier in the broadcast, though, the 6 has come out on top 3 times. McCann has yet to pick up a checkered flag. Very uncharacteristic for the driver at the wheel of the number 3 machine. Well, we got the chance. We're looking at the schedule here moving forward. Of course, tonight, 1st of December, last month of the year, and Christmas is on its way, and holidays in full swing. Next week, though, we're going out to Vegas, baby. The Anything EC 180, 120 laps. Then Kern County, back to the short tracks on the 15th. The IROC 250 at Daytona, that's December the 22nd. Just a few days before Christmas. And the Charity Motorsports 202 from Michigan. That is probably the one you want to put a big check mark next to. I know Daytona is fun, but Michigan always puts on a great race, especially with these ARCA cars. All-star race in Atlanta to start the year off, and then we'll finish the season down in Charlotte on the 12th. The RS12 Motorsports 202. On the one to go here at Auto Club Speedway. Half a lap away from the restart. Want to jump in again and thank the sponsors that have partnered up with the series this season. RS12 Motorsports, Coles County Speedway, R&R Racewear, Anything EC, Sparkle and Shine Mobile Detailing, 3 Wide with DJG, Charity Motorsports, Supreme 3D Printing LLC, Spartan Transportation LLC, Premier Racing Setups, and Care for Kids. None of this happens without support, and they've certainly provided quite a bit of it over the years. Coming down for our first restart of the day. Pace car makes the left turn. Barney with the green in hand. McCann and Majors on the front row.
Green flag, green flag.
DJ quickly jumps down to the bottom of the racetrack in front of Lilith Peters. Once again, you're seeing Brian McCann using up as much racetrack as possible to try and break up that draft behind him. Up towards the wall right now. Does he stay there? He does. Oh, a little contact from Garrett Johnston in the back of this 6. DJ hangs on to it for the time being. Johnston tried to check up, and he checked up a little too much now. And now he's got to worry about Carson Quapple on his tail. Let's ride on board with Carson and see how he gets around this place. A little bit of contact. It looked like there Carson either hitting a big bump or got hit in the back. Quapple up to the 5th spot with a run down through the front stretch. Garrett Johnston all over the back bumper of TJ Majors yet again. Gotta be careful. He's already made a little bit of contact to the back bumper entering turn 1 just a few laps ago. Johnston, though, showing some pace. He's worked his way back towards the front, currently running in 3rd. Carson Quapple now into the 4th position. He drops below the white line there at start-finish. That's okay. That's allowed here. think half the field just hit the wall off of 4 there, and we got trouble. 1 through the grass. Neil Quick going off-road here at start-finish. Go back quickly here and take a look, see what happened to the 2 just a moment ago off of turn 4. Looks like he's got the 26 underneath him, and there's contact. Not a ton, but it doesn't take much. Peter Ruzick driving the number 26 machine. Neil does a good job to straighten things out, keep the momentum going, get him through that infield grass and back onto the track. But he has got a lot of work to do. He certainly would love to see a caution here anytime soon. Leaders just about all single file right now, calming down, or are they? We'll see. Majors 2/10 behind Brian McCann as they roll down the back straightaway. Battle behind them. Adam Pettit now to the inside on Lilith Peters. Peters will fall back to 4th. She's really kind of hanging in that 3rd to 5th category right now. I'm on top of the pit box of Peters. I'm going to tell her just to ride here. Maintain that even top 7 right now. I think would be a comfortable spot for the 1. Carson Quapple is going to try and take the position away. He gets to the bottom of the racetrack. Peters pinches him down, tries to keep him at the bottom of the track. Quapple a little loose on the exit of turn number 2. Peters actually did a pretty darn good job slowing down the 5 of Quapple. He was going for that 3rd spot. Peters lost a spot too, but now Quapple back into the 8th position. Top 2 unchanged. McCann and Majors 1 and 2. What a beautiful sight. Kyle White, really wide entry into turns 3 and 4. Sorry, that's Christian Strader in the 29. White is in the 19. Oh, trouble behind. Chris Mefford up the racetrack and in the fence. Peter Ruzick collected as well. Caution is out.
Get a look at your gauges. Everything good?
Caution number 2 on the Speedway. 20 laps in here at Auto Club, and it's Chris Mefford and Peter Ruzick. At first glance, looked like somebody took a right hook and it sent Mefford head first into that safer barrier. Let's try to get a look at it. Back it up a little further here. And it looks like Evan Janik. Little crossed up, not quite centered on the back of the 46. They make some contact. I don't know if Chris changes lanes here late. Janik was just too close and indecisive. Unfortunately, Mefford gets turned up into the wall. Peter Ruzick collects him. Or collected. One or the other. Either way, he's involved. We'll watch it again here from a different angle. Again, this is off turn number 4. I want to try and go on board here with the 26 and just kind of watch the roof cam from Peter Ruzick at speed. Not Ruzick. Evan Janik. There we go. You can see how quickly things happen here, but this is real time. But a little indecision, I think. There you have it. Pit stop's underway. Sure looks like everybody's going to come down and swap out some tires, top off the tanks, get ready to roll here for another run. Good pit stops by McCann and Majors. Majors, though, about 3/10 faster than McCann in the pit box, but Brian still beats him out with that number 1 stall. Well, let's take another look here at the top 10. So trying to get formed back up. Brian McCann still the race leader. Then it's TJ Majors. Aaron Smith from last has worked his way up into P3. His last pit stop, no tires. 9.58 second stop for the 70. That's where all that track position came from. Aaron Smith, no stranger to strategy. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but many times with him it does. Adam Pettit shown in 4th. Lilith Peters up to 5th. Zachary Kleek, 6th. Carson Quapple in 7th. Kyle White, 8th. Christian Strader, 9th. And Will Tyndall in the 10th spot. Pace car lights have been extinguished. Front row yet again, McCann and Majors. Some very fast drivers rolling up in behind them. Aaron Smith will restart behind Brian McCann. Adam Pettit in 4th. And Lilith Peters in the 5th spot. Zachary Kleek, Carson Quapple, 6th and 7th. White, Tyndall, and Strader, at least for now, as they come to the line.
Ready, green, green, green.
Side by side for the race lead down into turn number 1. Majors got a very good restart. McCann slides up the track, has to check up. Will avoid contact with the 6, and off turn number 2, Majors takes the top spot. 3 wide behind him. The inside of the racetrack goes Zachary Kleek. He's going to get 2 for 1. Might get 3 for 1 here as he's alongside Pettit in turn 3. Has to check up a bit. Aaron Smith now goes to the inside. He'll make it 3 wide again with Carson Quapple on the top. Battle for the race lead again. McCann to the bottom of the racetrack across the line. Majors up top in the 6th. Little bit of a door bang there, headed down into turn number 1. They're racing like it's the last lap, and we're only a third distance. The 70 gets turned by the 11. Aaron Smith going around, parked sideways in the middle of the racetrack, and Evan Janik collects him. I don't know how bad it is. At least it looks like it's tracking straight. We'll go on board here quickly with Aaron. Steering wheel looks just about 12 o'clock, about where it should be. caution number 3. I kind of had a feeling something was going to happen. Things were getting very exciting at the front of the field here. It's very early for that type of thing, though. I'm not going to complain. Evan Janik, though, he has got a ton of damage after getting into Aaron Smith when he was parked in the middle of the racetrack, I believe. Let's take a look at what just happened. The 11 Cleek, bottom of the racetrack. They're technically 4 wide there. Just gets into Aaron Smith. Thought Smith was going to have that thing saved, and really he did a good job keeping it out of the wall, but really nowhere for Evan Janik to go. At least couldn't get slowed up enough to avoid contact. Pretty significant hit in the door. Let's watch it from the roof cam at speed. I tell you, if Aaron Smith's suspension isn't bent after that, it's a miracle. Got him right in that left front wheel. Aaron Smith sits parked in his pit box. He's been in there about 30 seconds. Body panel-wise, it doesn't look too bad, but it's tough to tell what it looks like underneath. Through that exchange, Majors hangs on to the race lead. Pettit managed to get second from Brian McCann, which I'll be honest, for the restart is really kind of a blessing for Brian McCann. The outside car, with the exception of that last restart, typically at a pretty significant disadvantage. Leader, of course, has to fire off first. Can't beat him to the line. Otherwise, the iRacing gods get a little angry. Smart move by Majors, though. Looks like he's going to take the top. He doesn't want McCann behind him here. So that forces Pettit to the bottom. So now he's at the disadvantage, having to react to the 6, which in turn could slow up that whole inside lane. Take a look who's coming up into the 10th position here. Chris Wally in the 51. Remember him? Remember that warm-up session? He was faster than anybody out there. Keep an eye on that 51 later on tonight. If you keep defenders on that thing, he may be a contender. Ready for the restart. TJ Majors, Adam Pettit. Majors opted for the outside lane on the restart, so he'll be up in the top.
Green flag.
Majors hangs on to the top spot. Now Carson Quapple gets around McCann. He's into the second position. McCann third. Pettit is falling back to P4. Christian Strader fifth. All over the back bumper of Quapple. Brian McCann looking for that second spot. He stays to the top. Quapple goes to the bottom. Might have a run here off of turn number 2. Closes the gap. McCann going for the lead, gets alongside of Majors into 3. Slides up the track just a bit, little bit of work on the throttle to avoid contact. Up the racetrack, into the wall, Majors scrapes the safer barrier, has to catch the car a bit, opens the door now for Carson Quapple. He's going to go up the gut for the race lead, and Majors is in the fence with some damage. Behind him, they're wrecking.
Caution. What have you got?
Chris Wally collected, Lilith Peters, Kyle White. Zachary Cleek tied up in this as well, it looks. Sorry, Todd Cleek is the 45. Chris Wally tore up. Yep, Henry Renhousing way offset to the right. Multiple drivers with pretty heavy damage here. TJ Majors being one of them. Going to be a big hit in the points for the 6. Doug Wysocki also with significant damage. Gavin Hinson with significant damage, and the same for Peter Ruzick, but I think his was from a previous incident. But either way, some bent sheet metal here at Auto Club, starting to look like Bristol out here. Majors will pit. Again, no fast repairs in this series except for the super speedways. One of the strongest cars, unfortunately, may be out of this one tonight. Through all that chaos, Carson Quapple was able to get to the race lead just before the yellow came out. Let's go back and look at it. Now, it started with a smaller incident, so watch the 6 and the 49 of Pettit. DJ crosses down. I don't know if he was looking at the 5, trying to make a decision there. Opts not to, but Pettit's just to his outside. Kind of right hooks the 6 there. And if we widen out just a bit, everybody's going to try to avoid. It looks like the 19 checked up instead of just turning hard left, which stacked up everybody behind him. Peters gets into him. Big time hit for the 39. Wow. Watch this. Watch the 39 car. Monster hit. So Pettit's to the outside here, just at that right rear wheel. It almost looks like TJ would have been all right here if it weren't for the incident that is happening behind him, as up the racetrack. maybe it's not as bad. No, that was the only damage he had was from that contact with the wall initially, or does Mefford come here get him as well? Looks like the car's not going to turn, so TJ gets the wall again. So, as we said, Carson Kvapil, your new race leader. Brian McCann second. Christian Strader third. Brandon Mefford fourth. Zachary Kleek in the 11. He's fifth. Steve Durbin, William Tyndall, Neil Quick after that pass in the grass, or that excursion through the grass, I would say. Then Todd Kleek, and then Kyle Pendergraft, top 10. Just a couple of laps shy of halfway here at Auto Club Speedway. While we have the chance, the stream chat has been awful quiet. We had Crystal Villano saying hello only, and that's between both streams. If you didn't know, we do multicast here to the IROC TV channel and the Track Limits Network channel. Feel free to jump in those stream chats. Just keep it PG, but tell us where you're from, who you're cheering for, anything really. Doesn't necessarily even need to be about the race. I'm open to all topics. Well, most of them. But man, this field is certainly shrinking. Looks like 15 cars still on the lead lap as we're getting ready for the restart here at Auto Club. Pace car is in.
Green flag.
Side-by-side battle for the lead. The leader is top two. Get away from the field on the restart. Kvapil up top in the 5. McCann settling now in behind. A little loose on exit for the 5 machine of Carson Kvapil as they roll down the back straightaway. He still has the top spot. We had Austin Martin in the chat. Says, I'm watching for the 39 in Central Illinois. Unfortunately, we saw the 39 take a massive impact to the inside pit wall for that last caution. Battle for the lead again, coming to the stripe. Kvapil's got it still. A little bit of drafting help from Brandon Mefford to the back bumper. Mefford trying to sneak his way to the inside there, but not enough room with McCann to the bottom. Mefford back up the racetrack. That's going to open the door to Steve Durbin in the number 99. Oh, Durbin with some contact, straightens it out, but no, it's not enough. He's going to go down the infield grass, hit the inside wall, but he's off the track. We may not get a yellow at all for this, and no, we do not. Durbin's going to get back out of the racetrack. He's going to have to get caught up. Things up front getting a little scary again, though. Kvapil with the lead. Now Brandon Mefford barely in second. Brian McCann trying to take it back, and Christian Strader waiting for the 3 guys ahead of him to make a big mistake. Stick with this battle here for a couple of laps, a lap and a half here before we go to our side-by-side break. It's just too good to step away. Mefford with a hard left turn into 3, gets alongside and almost clear Carson Kvapil. Kvapil's going to hang on the door off of turn number 4, up the racetrack to carry that momentum. Coming to the line, Kvapil's got it for now. Will he keep it? Yes. Kvapil with the lead. Strader now to the second spot. McCann and Mefford battling for third. For now, McCann's got it in the wall. Strader didn't turn the wheel in time, but looks like he's still okay. He's got a whale of a run to the outside of Carson Kvapil. Will they go 3 wide? No. Carson closes the door on Brian McCann. Hangs on to the top spot. Lap 40 goes up on the board. I hate to do it, guys, but I got to do it. Side-by-side break, though. You won't miss a minute of the action. We'll be right back.
Spartan Transportation and Spartan Logistic Management is your one source for all your shipping needs. 53-foot dry van shipments, auto transport shipments, full-service in-house brokerage, drop lot facilities, just-in-time deliveries to all auto manufacturers, facilities in St. Louis, Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, and Indianapolis, Indiana. Spartan Logistics LLC, proud sponsor of the IROC Series, Kyle Steffens UMP Modified and Silver Crown Driver, and Gordy Gundaker, World of Outlaws Late Model. Visit us at spartan-logistics.net or find us on Facebook.
Need insurance coverage that's built for speed? Frank Yea's office in South Charleston has your back. Whether you're blazing down the highway, protecting the home you've built, or setting up a legacy for your family, we've got the coverage you need. Auto, home, life, fast, simple, and made for you. Scan the QR code on your screen now to explore all our services and start a free quote today. Lock it in, save it for later, or call us at 304-744-7700 to get started.
Back at Auto Club Speedway, and the battle really hasn't slowed down a bit. Now it's for second, though, as the race lead still in the hands of Carson Quapple. Brandon Mefford gave a charge, wasn't able to get it done, but now he's got his hands full with Brian McCann to the inside. Swaps positions up in behind the 83. In front of the 11 is Zachary Cleek. Garrett Johnston taking it to the bottom of the racetrack, trying to get 2 for 1 here. He's got a nose alongside McCann, but he might have to lift or slide in behind. No! Keeps his foot down. He's alongside McCann down the backstretch. Brandon Mefford on the charge for the race lead yet again. Does he get clear up the racetrack? Quapple not willing to give an inch. Talk about threading the needle. Brandon Mefford with just enough room to get behind Quapple in front of McCann. On board with Mefford. Been the story of the night. You can get alongside on the inside, but you can't get that pass completed unless you just have a perfect setup for it. Oh, close quarters again. Quapple still with the lead, but almost contact with the 3 of Brian McCann. think McCann and Mefford now trying to size up the 5. Both drivers trying to see what they can do to take this race lead away. Into the back bumper goes Mefford. Into the wall after the fact. Garrett Johnston gives the 83 a nudge into turn 3. 3 wide behind the leader. McCann slides back to the 5th spot. Now it's Quapple, Mefford, Tyndall, and Johnston, and then McCann. Zachary Kleek now challenging for the 5th spot. Mefford goes to the inside in turn 3. Does he have it this time? He got all the way down to the white line, tries to slide it up, but Quapple not going to give. Slows the momentum. That's going to give Tyndall an opportunity to go to the 2nd spot. We were talking about how good of a race Michigan's going to be. This one might top it. Lilith Peters back on the Speedway, way up the racetrack. She's shown in the 16th position, however, 2 laps down. Don't count out Aaron Smith either, folks. He's still on the lead lap in 9th position now. Plenty of racing to go. They may still have another pit stop to be concerned with. In fact, let's take a look at that. I know there's some caution laps mixed in here, but this is where we are right now. Race leader Carson Quapple, last pit stop at lap 21. .25 laps to go from Auto Club Speedway, and it's been a good one so far. Quapple in front, Brandon Mefford, Brian McCann, Garrett Johnston, William Tyndall, the top 5. Stepping out of line again, Mefford really wanting that race lead. Brandon Mefford wanting to put a win into the record books this season as well. He is winless also. Brian McCann, shockingly without a win even to this point. Some stiff competition in the IROC Challenge Series this year. A lot of parity, but a lot of fast guys as well. Mefford noses out in front. A little bit of contact. Headed down in turn number 1, trying to break the momentum of Carson Quapple. Quapple gives chase, but still not clear. Quapple up the racetrack off turn 2. Might have killed all that momentum. I think Mefford will get clear this time. Going to make me a liar again, I think. There it is. Quapple noses back out in front. One driver lost connection. Got to be careful there. William Tyndall, top of the racetrack, the 62, comes back into the frame. Luckily, no traffic involved there. Mefford up the racetrack. Maybe some contact again with Quapple. Now coming to pit lane, Brian McCann with 22 laps to go. He's going to try something, get some fresh rubber on that thing. About a second of fall off on the older tires. We'll see if it makes a difference. Meanwhile, back out in front. Quapple still with the lead and now put some distance back to Brandon Mefford. Couple of car lengths back to the 83. Tyndall in 3rd. Strader and Johnston the top 5. Now stepping out of line once again. Brandon Mefford will not quit. He's got it done this time. I don't know if Quapple's thinking, you know what? It's time to take a breath. It's almost time for pit stops, and Quapple gets the wall off of 4. Tyndall takes evasive action, makes no contact with the 5, but Quapple now back to 3rd with 21 to go. Could this be a matter of tires just being worn out and overheated with all that fighting for the lead? Doesn't seem to be hurting Mefford, but we'll see if he can hold off the charge from either one of these two behind him. 3 wide behind the leaders. Quapple looks like he might be coming to pit lane. And there he comes. Christian Strader right on his trail. He's going to come with him. Strader a little hot to the outside, but I think Quapple got wound up in time. We'll have to keep a look at it. So from third, Quapple has given it up. Comes down pit lane for his final stop of the afternoon. Mefford still with the lead. Tyndall, Johnston, Cleek, and now Pendergraft up into the 5th spot. Tires and fuel for the 5 of Carson Quapple. Slow stop, 15:28 for the 5. He drops the jack and heads back on out. Brandon Mefford now from the lead. He'll come in pit. First round of green flag stops here at Auto Club. And it'll be the last pit stops of the day. Unless... So William Tyndall now the race leader. It's Johnston, Pendergraft third. Zachary Cleek fourth. Neil Quick up to 5th. Does anybody take 2 here? That'd be a huge gamble, but we'll see. 4 tires and fuel for Brandon Mefford. I gotta wonder here, Aaron Smith, he made his last pit stop at lap 54. Just for comparison purposes here, let's see if we can find Quapple again. I want to look at the pit strategy again. Doesn't give me enough there for Quapple. I just want to see when McCann came down after 32 laps. So if Aaron Smith made his last pit stop at lap 54, I would venture a guess he is good to go to the end. He's not going to have the pace, these guys that are making their final stops, but I think that crash that Aaron Smith endured forced him into a strategy situation that may just end up winning him this race if we stay green. Currently running in the 5th position. About a half straightaway ahead of the leaders. So with 17 laps to go, Garrett Johnston is out in front, still needing to make his final stop of the day. I'd expect to see the 15 pull off here in a couple of laps. Only 5 cars on the lead lap currently. Brian McCann in 6th. First car 1 lap down, then it's Brandon Mefford 7th, Carson Quapple 8th, Casey Bentz 9th, William Tyndall 10th. Neil Quick just about 3/10 off the back bumper of Garrett Johnston. Quick also in the same boat pit stop wise as Johnston. There's McCann in the number 3. Remember, McCann, the first car 1 lap down, but it won't be more than a lap or so before he gets that lap back on his own. Johnston going to pull down and pit. Neil Quick will take over the race lead. And McCann and Mefford will get their laps back. Carson Quapple likely to do the same here momentarily. So Neil Quick stays on the racetrack here, 13 laps to go. I just don't see him making it all the way to the end on the fuel he has on board. Turzak Racing in the chat. Steve, do you miss me? Hell yeah, Turzak. Wish you'd get back out here and run with these boys. Neil Quick going to come down and pit. So as they run now after the pit stop, that will give the lead to Aaron Smith. So that'll put Smith, Strader, Johnston, McCann, Carson Quapple will move up to 5th. Mefford, Tyndall, Pendergraph, Nuke Quick, and Zachary Cleek. The rest of the running order there in the top 10. But Quick still shown as the leader even though he's in pit lane. Caution would make a huge difference right now. We'll see. I don't expect it, though. The way these guys have been racing, somehow managing not to take it out. Real quick, splash and go. Heads back out of the racetrack with the race lead, but not for long as Aaron Smith flashes by on the high side. Not a bad call for the 2 of Neil Quick. He's going to have to deal with it here for the next 11 and a half laps, but I don't hate it. So Aaron Smith, we thought his night was all done after a pretty good impact with Evan Janik. Got as much repairs made to that 70 machine as possible. And through that pit stop, got his last tank of fuel at lap 54. He should be fine to the end. Now, a green-white checkered would certainly complicate things. Turzak, I don't know when you talked to Wally last, but maybe shoot him a message.
Caution's out.
And the caution comes out.
Talk me through your lap one time real quick.
And Carson Quapple in trouble. Caution on the Speedway. The Junior Motorsports driver bringing out the yellow here with 10 laps to go. What in the world went wrong? Let's take a look. Oh, contact with Brandon Mefford. These guys were battling very heavy for the lead early on. This was a battle for position, but certainly not the race lead. Mefford starts to come up the racetrack. Quapple's going up as well, but not at the same rate of speed, and they make contact off at the corner here, and around goes the 5. Just a couple of spins, and Quapple grabs a gear, dumps the clutch, and heads back out. And pit stops underway. Quapple has fallen back to 11th, but appears he has stayed on the lead lap. Aaron Smith staying out on the racetrack. I don't know if I like this call for this 70. Neil Quick went fuel only on his green flag stop. He's back in pit lane here. I would assume he's going to take some tires now. Indeed, he is. Jack of all trades in the IROC chat says, quote, Mefford at it again. I mean, I'll be honest, good, bad, or indifferent, it does set us up for a pretty cool finish. Because it looks like the top 5 drivers, their last pit stop was between lap 53, and the most recent was Garrett Johnston at 61. Not surprised that Johnston stays out. It's only been a handful of laps for the 15. Not a lot to gain by giving up the track position for some tires. Now, if we're at the old Atlanta, different story. But we're not there. So coming to 8 to go here. We should potentially get the 1 to go. And yes, we do. So, restart. Will be 7 laps remaining here from Auto Club Speedway. Front row is going to be Aaron Smith and Christian Strader. Then Brian McCann in 3rd, Garrett Johnston and Kyle Pendergraph in 5th. William Tyndall in 6th. Aaron Smith with 13 laps on his tires. And with that said, it might have been rights only for Aaron Smith on that last stop. 10.5 seconds for the 70. So this is going to be a big gamble for Aaron, but we've seen him do things like this in the past, and we've seen it pay off. Christian Strader with 12 laps on his. Brian McCann, 14. Garrett Johnston with only 6. Neil Quick in 7th position there. Fresh tires for the 2. He might just have enough time. Pace car is in. A 7-lap shootout. Do we make it to the end without the yellow flag?
Green flag.
Aaron Smith fires off, gets a great jump. A jump that he definitely needed, but did he jump too soon? It was close, at least from our perspective. McCann's going to go around the outside of Strader with a big-time run off of turn number 2. He's going to be with half a car off Aaron Smith, but here comes William Tyndall up to 3rd. A big bump to the back of Brian McCann. Gives him a run, a shot to the 70 of Smith down the back straightaway. Johnson up the racetrack, door to door with Will Tyndall off of 4. 6 laps to go. Quapple up to 8th from the 10th spot on the restart. I don't think he's got enough time. Now to the outside, Brian McCann. Does he stay to the outside? He's got the run now alongside with a nose out in front down the back straightaway for the race lead. McCann going for his first win of the season, and there's trouble in turn number 3. Caution on the Speedway. Quapple involved. Cleek. Christian Strader, Brandon Mefford gets collected. A big one here in turn 3 and 4. Newt Quick with damage. So with 5 to go, I don't think this will put us into our first attempt at a green-white checkered, maybe a natural green-white checkered, but Brian McCann out in front over Aaron Smith, William Tyndall, Neil Quick, and Zachary Cleek. We'll get into the tire situations for everybody here momentarily, but let's try and get a look at what happened here with this incident just a moment ago to put us under the yellow flag. I think it may have been Garrett Johnston was the first driver we saw in trouble. There was a big checkup there. All right, so let's watch this here. So the 62, third in line, he'll get into the back of Aaron Smith. Aaron closes the door abruptly. There's contact there, which slows the momentum of Tyndall. He gets in the wall. Strader gets into the 62. Then Kyle Pendergraph will come in, give him a shot, and it's just an accordion effect. Garrett Johnston comes in and gets a piece, and you see they're all spinning in tandem. Really nowhere for Carson Quapple to go. Neil Quick, does he scoot by on the top without being involved? Yes, he does. .45 of Cleek gets a big piece of this too, and you'd think Brandon Mefford was going to squeak by unharmed, but not the case. Watch the 83 as Strader gets punted here by the 5, still trying to hang on to the car, right into the path of the 83. Chris Wally threading the needle on his way through. He gets through this. So, back to strategies. McCann out there with 18 laps on his tires. Yes, there's been a couple of cautions in that mix, but that applies to just about everybody. William Tyndall in second, 14 laps on his tires. Neil Quick up to third through that incident. He has the freshest tires. He stopped at lap 66. Zachary Cleek made a pit stop at lap 66. However, looks like a fuel-only stop for Zachary Cleek. So no tire advantage there. Brandon Mefford in the chat says the 83 was a weapon tonight. For those of you with your home scorecards, the 83 is Brandon Mefford. One thing I like about Brandon, if he has an issue, he's not afraid to fall on the sword. Kyle Pendergraph made a stop at lap 71, but no tires. However, Aaron Smith did finally come down and pit, and he did take tires. So it looks like freshest tires in the field will restart, it looks about 7th when we get back underway. All right, this looks like our natural green-white checkered finish attempt. This does not count towards our 3 allotted.
Green flag.
Green back in the air. McCann with a good restart. Tyndall's going to have to tuck back in behind. McCann with the lead, but Tyndall with a run. Doesn't take it all the way, though. Stays in behind, now steps out of line, pulls a little draft off the 3s. They roll down into turn 3. Contact with Brian McCann. They go up the racetrack. Doors the 3, and we got a 4-way battle for the race lead coming to the white flag. Neil Quick in behind Tyndall, looking for room to get around. Coming to the stripe. Final lap from Auto Club Speedway. White flag in the air. Tyndall trying to take this top spot from Brian McCann. McCann trying to secure his first win of the season. Can he get it done? McCann will have the run out of turn 2, down the backstretch, but Neil Quick closing in fast as well. We're going to have another 3, maybe 4 wide battle for the finish here if we play our cards right. Into turn 3 for the final time. Tyndall forces McCann up the racetrack. It might have cost him both the race win here. Scrapes the wall. Neil Quick has to check up. More side draft from William Tyndall. Coming down to the line. Checkered flag is waving. Who is going to win it? And on the bottom of the racetrack, it's Aaron Smith taking the race win while the leaders fight it out. Unbelievable. And for the 6th time this season, Aaron Smith will take the checkered flag. I think he was 8th on the restart. Wow. Fireworks for sure. Unreal. Brian McCann will settle for 2nd, William Tyndall 3rd. The margin of victory, 0.06 of a second. That's how close. Brian McCann missed out on his first win of this season. Got to be a very happy Aaron Smith. I don't think even he expected that one. He's got a lot of confidence and a lot of talent, but wow. We're going to jump out here, step aside momentarily, get a quick break out of the way, and we're going to talk to our top 3 after this. Stay with us.
Spartan Transportation and Spartan Logistic Management is your one source for all your shipping needs. 53-foot dry van shipments, auto transport shipments, full-service in-house brokerage, drop-lot facilities, just-in-time deliveries to all auto manufacturers, facilities in St. Louis, Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, and Indianapolis, Indiana. Spartan Logistics, LLC, proud sponsor of the IROC Series, Kyle Steffens, UMP Modified and Silver Crown Driver, and Gordy Gundaker, World of Outlaws Late Model. Visit us at spartan-logistics.net or find us on Facebook.
Back at Auto Club Speedway, the Auto Club 150 in the books, and I just don't know how. Worst to first for Aaron Smith. That in itself is impressive, but that last restart, I believe he was about 8th with those fresh tires, took full advantage of it. Let's see if we can get a word with the driver of the number 70. We'll pull Aaron Smith up into the broadcast booth and get his take on things. 6th win of the season, and it couldn't have been in a more thrilling fashion. Aaron, it's Steve with Track Limits. You got me?
Yeah, I've got you.
Aaron, first of all, dead last starting position here tonight. I don't know if you had a problem in qualifying or if it was by design. First off, what was the situation in Q?
I just wanted to see how the handling was with the pack racing in these big tracks, because we have like 4 other drafting races left. And if I'm going to win the championship, I'm going to have to do well at all of them, because everyone else has been on it this season. And just got to make sure I cross my T's and dot my I's. And it takes a lot of luck to win these kinds of races. Unfortunately, I had it tonight.
So with all that said, luck obviously included. You had a little bad luck mid-race. Some contact got you crossed up. You saved the race car, didn't hit the wall or anything, but as you're sat broadside, Evan Janet comes through and nails that left front. Obviously some damage on the race car. How bad was it?
It was all internal. It was 4 minutes of wheel damage. I got half of it fixed and never got the chance to fix any more of it. So I ran with a little bit of extra yaw on that left front, but it didn't seem to mess me up that bad. Handling-wise, it was all tire wear. Like, my left front was destroyed going into that final restart. That's why I came in and took 4 tires. I didn't want to be on Brian's inside and be the one to shove him up to the wall, so someone else did it, and I was able to take the win as a result.
Well, we definitely saw that. I think it was from 8th to 1st in that final green-white checkered, though it was not an official green-white checkered. The procedure pretty much remains the same. Somehow you snuck through on the bottom as those guys were all pulling their hair out trying to win this race. You're like, yep, thank you. I'll pick up these table scraps. Did you have any doubt there in that final restart you'd be able to pick up this win?
Oh, yeah, I was hoping I'd start on the outside, but we black flagged somebody coming to that to the gridding lap and ended up on the bottom. I knew that as soon as the top got rolling, I'd be cooked. But fortunately, they all gravitated to the wall in 3 and 4, and I was able to just fly on past them. So, yeah, can't ask for much more there.
Certainly an impressive race. A week from today, we go to Las Vegas Motor Speedway. A similar racetrack, though, half-mile shorter, a little closer quarters. What's your preparation look like this week for Vegas?
About as much as what we did here. Probably not going to turn that many laps. The racing is going to be about the same, just running around the inside, guarding the outside, staying single file, and just all the drafting. So I'll just have to do better in qualifying, or actually qualify next week if I want to stick around the front. But that seems to be where the wrecks are, so I guess my strategy will consist of avoiding that at all costs. So we'll see when we get there.
Sounds like a good plan. Aaron, congratulations on the win here tonight. Who do you want to thank?
Yeah, I'd like to thank all the folks at the IROC Challenge Series for putting on another great race. Well, we had a few cautions, but it all worked out in my favor, so by that metric, it's a great race. I'd like to thank you for broadcasting, all the folks for watching, and I'm looking forward to getting back at it next week.
All right, Aaron, thanks for talking to us, man. Good luck in Las Vegas.
10-4, thank you.
Aaron Smith, race winner here at Auto Club Speedway. This is an interview I'm probably not looking forward to because Brian McCann probably going to be pretty frustrated about how things transpired here tonight. Brian, it's Steve with Track Limits. You got me?
I do.
Brian, this is a sour one, I'm sure. Second place finish. Really had the car to beat tonight. Pole position. Led a bunch of laps up front all night long with the exception of that pit cycle. You got an opportunity there late, but walk us through those closing couple of laps on that natural green-white checkered finish. It seemed like the 62 kind of forced you up the track a couple of times, or was that just hard racing?
Yeah, it was a draft and was king here. So if you knew how to work the draft, that was the key. The lead card had a definite advantage on that top side, but we were racing the wall, and the wall is not the fastest way around the track. So yeah, Aaron snuck around the bottom side and took it there.
Winless so far this season. I think this is probably the deepest into an IROC season that you've gone without picking up a checkered flag. Does any of that enter your mind coming into these races?
Nah, I'm a winner every race.
Well, next week, Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Smaller track, but similar in how you approach it. Can we get that first win next week in Vegas?
I hope so. That's my kind of track, and hopefully it works out. Maybe it's not as bad as a draft track. Maybe the tire comes into play more. At least that's what I'm hoping for. Need to do some practice.
All right, Brian. Well, runner-up, certainly a solid points night. Wasn't able to take that race lead away, I don't think. Season standings lead away from Aaron Smith, but another opportunity next week. Job well done tonight. Who do you want to thank?
Yeah, man, you for doing the broadcast, my family, everybody watching, drivers, great racing. See you next week.
Thanks for talking to us, Brian. Brian McCann, runner-up here at Auto Club Speedway. He's trying not to show it, but he ain't happy. And I can't say that I blame him. But let's get a word here with William Tyndall, third-place runner here tonight. Had an opportunity at picking up the race win here tonight up until the last few hundred yards. Somebody snuck in on the bottom. William, it's Steve with Track Limits. You got me?
Yeah.
William, congratulations, man. 13th to 3rd. It's always good when you're moving forward. It's got to sting a little bit, though. Had an opportunity to win this race. Had a little bit of a tire advantage on these guys, but just couldn't get there. And Aaron Smith pulling a magic trick there on the bottom of the racetrack. Were you paying any attention to that low lane or all about Brian McCann at that point?
No, I did not know he was coming there. I was trying to just stay high enough to not run McCann into the wall, but still be able to get a run to where he couldn't clear me.
Certainly made it exciting in the closing laps, but tire strategy abound. Those last couple of cautions, what did that do to your game plan coming to the finish?
Well, I mean, I was out of tires, so I just had what I had, but I was pretty even with Brian, so I thought I was going to be able to be all right. Luckily, I didn't get caught up in anything.
Las Vegas Motor Speedway next week. Maybe luck will fall more on your side. How do you feel about Las Vegas Motor Speedway?
Not as good as Auto Club, but if people kind of keep it reined in, I think I can do pretty good as long as I didn't get caught up in any chaos.
Well, the chaos was certainly fun to watch tonight as long as you're not involved in it. William, congratulations again. Solid third place here at Auto Club. Who do you want to shout out to?
Oh, just Chris Wally putting this on. It's fun showing up every week with the same group of guys. You learn them, learn how to race them, learn who to be careful around and who you can run hard with. It's fun.
All right, William. Well, job well done. Thanks for talking to us, and good luck next week.
All right, appreciate it. We'll see y'all next time.
William Tyndall, man, I don't think he gets excited about much anything. Third place, pretty solid. Maybe he's disappointed about not picking up that win, but a great race for the 62. Really good to see him up towards the front. He raced his butt off tonight, certainly did, and gave Brian McCann all he had, and it came down pretty tight there at the end. But with that, let's take a look here at our race results. Of course, we talked to Aaron Smith, Brian McCann, and William Tyndall, the top three. Further down the line, Zachary Cleek was fourth in the number 11. Kyle Pendergraph was fifth. Neil Quick, sixth. Steve Durbin, seventh. Adam Pettit was eighth. Ninth place, that went to Garrett Johnston. Casey Bentz was 10th. 11th place went to Nuke Quick. Lilith Peters salvaged a 12th place finish, the first driver not on a lead lap, so she hung in there after her crash earlier on. Brandon Mefford was 13th after a crash. Carson Quapple, same story, finishes 14th. Christian Strader was 15th. Todd Cleek was 16th. 17th went to Chris Wally. TJ Majors out of this one early as well, finishes 18th. Doug Wysocki was 19th. 20th went to Gavin Hinson. Kyle White, 21st. Evan Janik was 22nd. Kyle Hardy, 23rd. Chris Mefford finishes in the 24th spot. Peter Ruzick, 25th. Kevin McCann, also involved in a crash, 26th. And last but not least, number 88, Jason Nilges, finishes 27th, 67 laps down. Thank you guys all for tuning in here tonight. This was a fun race to call. If you know people that usually tune into these that didn't watch this race tonight, make sure you send them the link so that they can check this out for themselves. I know we had some chaos with the cautions, but man, the racing was intense. As I said earlier in this race tonight, talking about Michigan Speedway later in the season, very similar racetracks, and they put on equally as good shows. Usually Michigan's like this. If this is how California was, Michigan might be just as good or crazier, so we'll see. All in all, congratulations, Aaron Smith, sneaking out a win here, his 6th of the season in the IROC Challenge Series. We'll see you guys next week in Vegas. Thanks for watching.